Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a wonderful feeling of resourcefulness. And as you breathe out, just imagine any feelings of stress or tension starts to leave your body in that outward breath. Simply by breathing in and breathing out, you're able to drift into a state of pleasurable relaxation. A wonderful place where you can breathe in and breathe out deeper and deeper without even trying to, enabling you to drift deeper down to that place where change happens. And you've been there before. A place where, simply left with your own thoughts, you made a decision that changed your life from that point onwards. So as you breathe in and breathe out, imagine going to that place in your mind, a place where beliefs change. And maybe there was a time in your life when you were a child that you believed in tooth fairies. That as a child, if one of your baby teeth, your milk teeth, fell out, you could place it under your pillow, and in the morning you might see a coin. So you've already had a belief of abundance that simply by exchanging one thing for something else, you could change that tooth to a valuable coin. And you held on to that belief, maybe for a few years, until you didn't. And as you think back to your childhood, think of how many other things you used to believe, and you don't believe them anymore. And therefore, there is all the evidence in the world that you can believe things that aren't true, but they still make you feel good. And that feeling of abundance sometimes creates self-fulfilling prophecies where the very belief leads to actions, which leads to decisions, which in turn create the very thing you've been looking for. And I want you to think back to your childhood at a time when you were playing in a garden. And as children, we have very active imaginations. You could imagine things like a butterfly talking. You could imagine those secret imaginary friends. How many children have seen fairies in their garden? And were they real? Or were they figments of an imagination? And I wonder what it would feel like to imagine being in a garden of your imagination. And I want you to imagine a giant made from plants. Maybe you can imagine them standing tall, a crown of flowers. Maybe their arms and legs are made from branches and leaves. And use the power of your imagination to imagine something that represents the power to give you what you need. Imagine imagine this giant with their hands open, like they're cupping their hands to collect water. This giant made of plants and branches and flowers with open hands, a symbol of abundance. And I want you to imagine standing in front of that giant, and the abundance that they are giving you is not material things, not coins or notes or gold or jewelry, but the very resources that can enable you to have all of those things. I want you to imagine that you're standing beneath those hands, and almost imagine an overflowing cup of liquid energy flowing from the cupped hands down over your head. And imagine that this liquid energy are new beliefs, new ways of thinking that will give you the very resources that you need in order to have all the abundance in the world. As you imagine standing there under that liquid energy, feeling relaxed, imagine a vast and boundless waterfall of abundance flowing over you, with limitless opportunities just waiting to be explored. And use that imagination to imagine yourself as a beacon of creative energy, radiating ideas that effortlessly attract wealth and abundance into your life. Imagine a key unlocking, and allow your subconscious mind to understand that creativity is a bridge to abundance. And with each creative thought, you build a pathway to greater prosperity. Just as you're imagining that you're in a garden, imagine a garden within you, where your actions are seeds that, when nurtured, grow into trees heavy with the fruits of abundance and success. See yourself stepping boldly into the river of opportunity, knowing that each step you take sends ripples of abundance in all directions. Feel the changes taking place as you understand that taking action is your key to unlocking the door to abundance. Imagine turning that key with confidence and determination. And embrace the concept of calculated risks. Envision yourself standing at the edge of a cliff, ready to leap into the expansive sea of abundance below. Or maybe you could imagine a tapestry woven with threads of courage, resilience, and action. Each thread represents a step you take towards manifesting the abundance you deserve. And you can feel the warmth of the sun on your face as you walk the path of opportunity, knowing that every step you take is a step closer to the infinite abundance that surrounds you. because you are a skilled navigator of life, steering your ship through uncharted waters to discover hidden islands of abundance that are yours to claim. Allow the idea of risk to not be an enemy, but to become a friendly companion, guiding you toward the unexplored territories where untapped abundance resides. Perhaps in one of those islands you can imagine, perhaps in a long-lost cave, a treasure chest filled with your dreams and aspirations. Because when you accept there is infinite abundance, infinite money, infinite wealth, then it becomes obvious that you need to be discerning with so many ways to make that wealth and that money. It makes sense to pursue the ways that are naturally aligned with your values, your dreams, your enthusiasm. And with each calculated risk you take, a new treasure is unearthed, bringing you closer to abundance. As you drift into a deeper state of relaxation, let go of the belief in scarcity. Instead, envision your life as a canvas where the colors of abundance flow freely and abundantly. And what would happen if you imagined yourself as a conductor of an orchestra, directing the harmonious symphony of your actions towards creating the very abundance you desire? With your eyes closed, still feel that cupped hands overflowing with the energy of abundance, cascading onto you like a waterfall of pure, abundant energy. And then go inwards as you visualize your thoughts as seeds planted in the fertile soil of your mind. Watch as they sprout into a lush garden of opportunities, each one bearing the fruit of abundance. I want you to think of your favorite bird and imagine what it would feel like to fly across beautiful landscapes and feel the exhilaration of soaring above the landscape of limitation and scarcity, embracing the boundless sky of possibilities and abundance. There was a time where everything around you didn't exist. Everything around you was created initially with an idea, a thought. As you embrace creativity, action, and calculated risks, imagine doors opening wide to reveal pathways leading to treasures of abundance you never thought possible. Maybe there's an artist within you. And what if you were to imagine yourself as a sculptor, molding the clay of your life into a masterpiece of abundance? With every artistic decision you make, contributing to your financial success. And then return back to feeling you're in that magical garden under the cupped hands of a giant, still standing beneath that waterfall of abundance, feeling the refreshing flow wash away any remnants of scarcity, leaving you renewed and empowered. And allow the belief of infinite abundance to take root in your subconscious, just like a tree that grows strong and tall, reaching for the sunlight of prosperity and enriching every aspect of your life. Allow these changes to take place as you remember throwing a stone into a pond, into a lake, and remember the ripples on the surface stretching way beyond the point where the stone hit the water. So allow these changes to ripple through your past, present, and future, looking at the world through a new lens of infinite abundance. It is there for the taking, and it is your thoughts, actions, and decisions that will either harness that infinite abundance for you or leave it. Leave it on the side. It was designed for you. It's there for the taking. But people leave opportunities all the time. And I want you to imagine what future feels more desirable to you. A future where your thoughts are empowering and positive, your actions are decisive and courageous, and your decisions are aligned to reduce consequences but take advantage, that abundance rewards risk-taking. Or you can imagine a future of scarcity, of lack, of anxiety, of not having enough. And the moment you decide the future you desire, you are stepping into that abundant, confident, enthusiastic version of you, where you believe in yourself and know it is all there for the taking. As you breathe in and breathe out, it's time to walk away from that waterfall of abundance, from that giant, and return back to your reality. But return with those wonderful feelings of abundance, self-belief, allowing those seeds to take root. And don't be surprised if in the next few days you notice opportunities that you didn't notice before. Don't be surprised if you start having ideas that, if you were to follow through with, would dramatically and positively transform your life. So just be open to noticing. And if you notice things that might be clues to an opportunity to take your life in the direction you desire, realize you're only noticing those things because your intuition trusts you have the capabilities to move forward with that idea or to take advantage of that opportunity. Return to the present with all those wonderful, empowering thoughts, optimistic and receptive to wonderful opportunities flowing your way. And as you return fully to the present, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, feel connected to your body completely in the present. And as you do so, very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling empowered, full of enthusiasm, with a deep conviction of the infinite abundance that surrounds you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.